Hey there, I'm Ari from Tech Buyers Guru, and this is the first in my series of top 10 products of the year for 2019. Today's video is going to be focusing on PC peripherals. So if you've got a gaming PC or a content creation PC, these are going to be products you're going to be interested in. I'm going to start with what's right in front of me. This is the Blue Yeti X studio mic. This thing is a game changer when it comes to recording video, recording interviews. If that's the kind of thing you do, you should check this thing out. Blue is actually a company that was acquired recently by Logitech, so that's kind of a household name. You may not realize that Blue is now a Logitech company, but that brings with it a lot of advantages. For instance, the great Logitech support, as well as integration into the Logitech suite, software suite, which is called G-Hub, which is a really great and often updated software suite, providing more and more features to your peripherals. So the Blue Yeti X is a studio mic. I'm using it right now to record this video. And it, like I said, it's really a game changer in terms of quality. It adds so much depth to the sound of a video versus the mic that I have on. I have a lapel mic on. It's decent for what it is. I actually am using it as a backup in case something goes wrong here in my recording. It also helps me sync the audio. This is a USB mic. So if you're recording on a camera, you can't directly connect this. So I have to sync it in post, and that's why I have this other mic on right now. But yeah, the Blue Yeti X is really a game changer. I love it. It's got a lot of cool features. On the back here is a selector switch where you can switch from omnidirectional to unidirectional to cardioid to stereo. I'm actually using cardioid, and that's what they recommend for this kind of video, for where you're speaking into a camera and you're close to the mic. And the different modes really make a difference. I've found that really for this kind of video, you definitely want to be in cardioid mode. And so it's awesome that you've got those four modes here. If you're doing an interview with one person on one side of the mic, another person on the other, you're going to want to switch to one of the other modes. And of course, if you're in a room where you want to get like an audience, well, you're going to use omnidirectional, right? Where there's people speaking from all directions. So it's really cool that you have all those modes built into one device. I also really love the monitor on the front. So I can see what my levels are in real time. I can see if I'm spiking, if I got to turn down my gain right here. So it's really, really convenient to have that right in front of me. The base is nice and solid, really, really heavy. It's not going to move anywhere. The one thing that I do notice, and I have to kind of adjust myself to, is that it will pick up booms if you kind of hit the table. You'll hear that bass, that reverberation through the stand of the mic, which of course you wouldn't hear if you have a lapel mic. So I have to be careful kind of not to like drop products on the table or, kind of bounce my hands off the table. You'll hear that boom in the mic, and that's just something you got to learn with a studio mic. The only real drawback I see to this microphone is that the selector switch is on the back. And what happens sometimes is I'm grabbing the mic to reposition it. I accidentally hit that switch, and then I end up recording in the wrong mode. And like I said, the modes really do make a difference. And so if I am in cardioid mode and I hit that button accidentally, I switch to stereo, it's not going to sound as good for my close-up audio recording that I'm doing right now. So that's the one issue I have with it. I've seen other people make an issue of something that I frankly think is a non-issue, and that is that it uses micro USB versus Type-C. I don't think that matters at all for a product that you always have to have plugged in. Yeah, I like to have my smartphone and my wireless devices like this mic using USB. When I have to charge them, I have that cable ready. But this, I'm not charging this. I'm not really worried about disconnecting it because I don't use it disconnected. I always need a cable connected to it. And frankly, I've got a lot of micro USB cords around, so I'm not worried about not having one. So I've seen a lot of people make mention of that, and that's just silly. It's just not an issue. It's a non-issue. So Blue Yeti X, I love it. The retail price of this is $170, and it's still selling for $170 because it is a brand new product. It was released in October 2019. Next up, also from Logitech, the very best mouse on the market, in my opinion. This is the G502 Lightspeed. This looks a lot like the G502 released in 2014, and yet it's completely different on the inside. This is wireless. It's got the best sensor that Logitech offers, 16,000 DPI, and it's also compatible with the wireless PowerPlay charging mat. This little puck, as I call it, that comes out here, this allows it to get a wireless charge via the PowerPlay mat. So this is a mouse mat. It typically runs for just under about $100. This was released in 2017, but I still think it's one of the most cutting edge products ever to hit the PC market. So you can use your mouse forever without ever having to stop to charge. And I've seen some people make issue like, oh, it's too small, or oh, I don't want it to charge all the time, or it's gonna shock me, or it's gonna do whatever. You know what? Those are all non-issues. I guess today's theme is non-issues. I have no issue with the size of that mat. I think it's plenty big. I actually put it on top of a larger desk mat for my keyboard. So, you know, you can kind of adapt to the size of the PowerPlay mat. And I just love never having to stop to plug in or to change batteries. Yes, I know some of you still like using AA's in your mice. No, I don't. So, okay, lithium for me. Thanks. This is the best mouse on the market, G502 Lightspeed. Also from Logitech, the G915 in 3 different versions. This is the coolest keyboard on the market. Super slim, sweet RGB, wireless, rechargeable, goes for a really long time. If you turn the lights out, it'll go for 1100 hours. With the lights on, I think it's something like 150 hours, which is still great. It uses Logitech's own mechanical keys. They are based on a Khalil switch, which is just fine. When I first heard that, I thought, well, it's not going to be able to match Cherry MX switches. But you know what? I actually like these a lot. I think they're super responsive. This is the clicky version, so I'm going to let you hear it right now. Pretty clicky, right? I actually like it. I don't find it that loud. I just find that it gives me that right amount of feedback. They also make a tactile version, which is a little less loud because you basically just feel the switch. And then they have essentially a silent version, which is kind of their version of MX Red. This thing is just awesome. It's so light for a mechanical keyboard. Most mechanical keyboards feel like tanks on your desk. This is super easy to move around. And because it's wireless, you can move it. You can take it off your desk. If you need to clear space to do something else, you can move it around. I just can't go back. I've been waiting years for a mechanical keyboard that was wireless, that had backlighting. I know some people will say, who needs RGB? It's a waste of battery power. It's a waste of my life. I don't need RGB. I use it just for the backlighting. I actually don't use the rainbow mode that you see here. I have a pre-programmed mode that I just think is attractive, and I love the backlighting, okay? So this is an awesome product. It came out at $250. It's now, I think, down to about $235. Like I said, there's 3 versions of it. And there's actually also a wired version, the G815, which is just under $200. I definitely go wireless. I just think it's awesome. It's just so convenient to have a keyboard that you can move around freely on your desktop that also has all these features built in. Again, this is the first wireless keyboard that is mechanical and has full RGB. There's never been a keyboard like this before. Yes, it comes in at a premium price, but it's the only one of its kind. It's super, super awesome. I love it. So Logitech nearly has a clean sweep today on peripherals, except Corsair comes through with a win. The Virtuoso SE headset here, I absolutely love this headset. I had previously been using the G935 from Logitech. I actually have the box up here above me. I've retired it. It's too plasticky for me. It feels too gamey. This thing feels like a true headset. I love it. It's pretty heavy because it's made of metal, like real metal. It feels like it's made of metal, which means it's super, super solid. It doesn't rattle or creak. It feels like a high-end piece of audio equipment. It's super comfortable. You have some subtle RGB effects in the ear cups. You know, some people may say, I don't need that. Yeah, because I don't really need it either, because when it's on my head, I don't see it. But it looks subtle and stylish. I like it. This also works wirelessly with the PS4, sorry, probably with the PS5 too. You just lose the surround sound, but frankly, that's not this headset's strength. I didn't like the surround implementation that much. I like it much more in stereo. It's super solid in stereo. It's got a really, really powerful mic, and one thing I noticed about it is, in my original review, I actually had the boom pretty close to my mouth like I would have with most headsets, and this was really too close. I thought it was too boomy. If you just set it out a little bit further away from your mouth, it actually works a lot better. This is just such a big mic. It's 9.5 millimeter driver that you just can't use it like you would most headset boom mics. So, you know what? I'm making amends. I took off like half a point in the review for that. I give it back, all right? But yeah, overall, so this is $210. They also make a version at $180 that has a smaller mic and a little less of the kind of deluxe treatment in terms of aesthetics. This has these chamfered edges, and this kind of laser cut, the ear cups with the LED RGB shining through it. It looks super sweet. It costs an extra $30. I think it's worth it. But they also sell the standard Virtuoso for $180. Just absolutely mind-blowing quality. The sound quality in stereo is awesome. This is a gaming headset for audiophiles. And kudos to Corsair for stepping up. I have tested a lot of their headsets in the past, and most of them are cheaper. And that's, it's fine that they address that, the $100 market. This is a completely different product. And again, congrats to Corsair for stepping up their game and really surpassing all the other gaming brands, in my opinion. I don't think you can get a better headset for the $200 price point. So Virtuoso SE wins the last of my 4 awards for today. Next up, you're going to be seeing my top 3 PC components of the year. Stay tuned for that. Until then, I'm Ari from the Tech Buyers Guru.